Time to call the Morehaven City Council regular meeting to order for December 17th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the City Hall Chambers. Roll call, Rashonda,
I'm here.
Alicia,
Here.
Mr. Decker,
Here.
Brad's here.
Brad's here.
Smith.
Brad Smith is here. I'm here. Steve and Melissa have joined us. Larry, Brad Simmons, are you here?
He's here.
And we've got 4 people in the audience. This time we'll do the invocation with Alicia and the Pledge of Allegiance with Mark.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this day that you've given each and every one of us, Lord. I just ask that you continue to watch over us and guide us, Lord. In this season, Lord, we just thank you and praise you, Lord. We just give you all the praise and the glory. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank y'all. Item number 3, additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda. Everybody good? Okay. Item number 4, discuss and approve the following minutes, December 3rd, 2024.
Motion to approve the 73rd meeting minutes.
Motion by Mark Decker, seconded by Brad Smith. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5, report of officer, city manager.
Yesterday evening, we had a presentation by Connectronics. Requested a feasibility study on putting in a fiber optic network in the city. They did make the presentation last night. However, afterwards, we discovered that they had put together a proposal based on an underground installation of fiber optic. I followed up today with the folks at Connexon and I was trying to clarify exactly what happened. What happened is that they did not pick up on the fact that the city owns those electric poles. That they were assuming they were FPL poles, and right now FPL is fighting other entities going on their poles for any kind of like fiber optic or anything. They went ahead and prepared a proposal based on an underground system. I think the confusion was they at the same time they're working on a proposal for Muse, and that area does have FPL, and so they kind of prepared, I guess, both proposals using the same criteria, but like I said, that does apply for Muse, but it does apply for us. So they're going to rework the numbers based on doing aerial installation like they did with Glades Electric and those kind of things. And obviously they'll come back with some new estimates. I also did some checking today on they were mentioned in that program called BEAD, which is Broadband Equity Access and Deployment, which is the next step of the funding process for broadband. The state is doing maps of those areas that are unserved and underserved, and because those areas that meet that criteria will be eligible for funding under the BEAD program. So once those maps come out, there'll be a period of time where you can challenge them if you think the data is wrong. But then after that period of challenge is up, the state will be issuing funding, in which they mentioned last night that would be a great opportunity because there's I think there's something like probably in our area, particular area, they mentioned that probably there would be about close to $3 million. They expected to be about $3 million in funding for the BEAD program. So there will be an opportunity to go after that funding. So at this point in time, I guess until they get us another proposal to look at, kind of thing, we also we're waiting for the BEAD program to get finished also. So didn't meet the criteria. So I just wanted to give you an update on, I guess, what happened last night. It was just some misinformation and we'll rework the numbers.
Okay.
The other thing that that was before as far as the city hall renovation, that I think at previous meetings, they mentioned about getting back with the architect to look at other options kind of thing. One of the suggestion was, I guess, was expanding city hall, building on the city hall. The architect has basically, through discussion, saying that probably the structure of the building is not strong enough to build onto it. It was probably, it's questionable whether it was ever built to code back in the day. It's certainly not built to code for today kind of thing. So building onto the building is probably not going to be an option. You would have to probably do major, they tear down the building or that kind of thing. But it would not be an option. So, like I said, we're kind of probably looking at options for storage. I know you were talking about doing some storage down in the warehouse, building some room down there, but there will still be a need for storage up here. You probably need current year, you need prior year, you probably need all the permanent records up here kind of thing. So there's still going to be a storage issue, even using that facility down there. So like I said, we're kind of back to
What was the final result going on over there in that room over there? I mean, I heard rumors, but I don't know.
well, I think we've been down there. We cleaned it up, and trying to get the air conditioning fixed.
The roof fine,
Roof's fine.
Roof's not damaged.
roof fine, since 8 years old.
Is it clean? It's cleaned up down there?
I didn't get a chance to get down there, so I didn't see it.
Fairly clean. What it is, where the boxes were sitting on the ground, I think when we got a heavy rain one time, might have seeped through the floor. It is kind of low in that corner right there. The boy probably got in there and sucked up through the cardboard boxes. They need to be picked up off the ground. So pallet.
Palletized, yeah. So if we put pallets
Not a
down,
lot of room down there,
is there some room left?
a little bit, not a whole lot.
But like I said, the most of the records we have in here are probably going to need to be kept here. And it's like the current year, prior year, and all the permanent files. So it's we need some option for keeping those records.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of different options and what you just reported about this building. So is there a possibility where y'all would consider doing some temporary, like Fort Myers Beach, their city hall got wiped out and in. So they're operating out of some trailer units, mobile units for their city hall, and they do their meetings. They're on their own property. It's not quite where city hall was. So theoretically, couldn't you out at the warehouse put some same type of structure up for city hall and then maybe consider redoing something down here and just make the building the right way up to code with adequate needs for the future, and you still stay in the park? Because I think it's important that the city's presence in the park remain the same, but at least temporarily, and you bite the bullet and you get new construction done for city hall the right way. So just a thought.
I would want to see it permanent if we were building over there. Though.
No, just use their mobile home unit, like
Yeah.
Fort Myers. I've been to meetings there. They have mobile, I'll call mobile home unit. It's double wide, triple wide, where they have their staff and then they have their meeting room. And they have maybe a couple of those connected together. So obviously, to do new construction, demolition, new construction would not be the swiftest, but still, at least temporarily, you're continuing your city function, you're addressing temporarily the storage problem that you have, and then you just do something over here and get it done.
I'd like to see a cost on it. If we're gonna
Sure,
do it. That'd be something worth
because
Thinking
otherwise
about,
you're kind of, it's almost like, now I'll use the word nickel and diming, but you know, you're just doing these Band-Aid type of approaches. Just get it done if you can, you know, cost effective, and you have capital to work from with that as well. So,
personally, and until we see money,
sure,
you know, that,
no, but just trying to think of different ways to go.
and that is a good idea.
You know, you're
yeah.
just putting a shed in the park,
Yeah,
you know,
see, it
that's
ain't happening.
ridiculous.
I'm
And
for that.
if we can't use this building in any shape or form, that seems like, you know, a good spot to at least set up temporary. And
We'll get him in for some, we'll get him in for some drawings and estimates and.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it. I did have, I did send out a city manager's report in the packet. I don't know if you saw it. The reminder, the legislative delegation of January 8th at 3:30. In conjunction with the legislative delegation meeting, there's going to be also I assume at the cold, the Connor Building,
Doyle Connor.
Bill Connor Building, when Senator Grawl and Representative Tucker here for the delegation meeting, they're also going to have a meeting on the water storage issue. And they're going to have the Bill Connor Building, the expected size of the crowd,
January 8th.
January 8th. Yeah.
So we're not gonna have it at the county commission chamber this year.
Yeah, no, I think they're going to have it at the Dole County because of the expected crowd for the water storage issue.
That might be a fun one to go to.
The service lead line inventory, EPA has basically required all entities with water service lines to do surveys of what lines you have, what are expected to have either unknown or lead type things. So we're starting that process. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit time consuming, but like I said, we have to eventually do it. So we'll be getting that project together. We're obviously, you know, a lot of our, we mentioned earlier, a lot of our utilities, there's not adequate as-built or other type of records on there. So we probably, you know, talked about, I think earlier about trying to maybe put a project together, do mapping of our utilities, create a GIS database of all our utilities. But like I said, this one, we'll at least have to get things identified for this lead service inventory as soon as we can, which we'll be working on. May end up using some of the ARP money maybe to finish up that inventory. And then I had got a quote from Richdale and Sons for additional striping on Riverside Drive, putting a yellow line up the middle of Riverside Drive, some parking spots on the north side of that, and then putting striping in on Marina Drive. And they have right a quote about $1,800 to do that striping. One of the reasons we're trying to get done over here is because we have the same issue we have out here. We need to make sure that you have yellow line down through there so that it indicates there's two-way traffic and there's parking on the north side. So again, trying to identify some, so we don't prevent any kind of head-on type.
You're going northbound and southbound lanes.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So like I said, they submitted a quote for $1,800 to do that striping. With their direction, we'll go ahead and proceed with that.
We need a motion for that.
Yeah, because it's changed.
We're going to probably use ARPA funding for that.
Yeah.
So
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sean, seconded by Mark to allow Larry $1,800 to Ridgedale and Sons to restripe for a striping project. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you for your report, Larry.
Mhm. Thank you.
Did that help, Ms. Kosky?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. City Attorney, Mr. Ramoni?
So following up with what Mr. Tibbs was just saying, he and I had talked about maybe developing an RFP for services to do our mapping, because I know, when we were having the meeting last night and they talked about wanting to use the water lines, and do we have the map of our system, in which we do not, and in conjunction with what we have to do to identify potentially the lead. It seems to me that for the utilities in general, because we don't have anything. The same, we had the same issue with the sewer come up, and, not getting through the engineers as we were going, the as-bills. So, I think that we probably need to look at that for all utilities. Maybe,
Remember when we did something at the elementary school a few years ago and we had a problem.
well,
Nothing was where it was supposed to be.
yeah, and the electric included, especially that if we're gonna identify poles.
Yeah.
To possibly bootstrap off of for the broadband.
What you're saying, Steve, is we need to get modern.
Yeah, and it's a major job. But I mean, I would probably say, quite honestly, I don't know when Mike Brantley was here, but he had tried to start to identify on the electric side, the system, and where we had lines every which way, because from time to time it comes up where people come in for fence permits and could potentially interfere, and identify the easements that go along with that. But it's just a massive job to do. So unless we maybe can find a company that can perform these services, and in conjunction with what Mr. Tibbs needs to get done.
And it's not something we can do in-house.
It's so mad. It's way over the top.
The county did the same thing for the 911 system. They hired a contractor to come in and they put together a GIS database of all the county for 911 purposes. And actually, they provided that file to us, that we passed it on to Connexon to see if they could use any of that data also, but which I'm not sure they could use a lot of it. They didn't have, for example, our electric poles in there. That's
Right.
But like I said, there's companies out there that do that. They'll put together a GIS database that.
It's probably something we need.
Yeah.
Like Steve just said, we need to get modern. So do you need a motion to start it, or?
No, not really. I mean, we could try to develop something, and we could probably do it like across the board, and then maybe part it out, so to speak,
Right,
because
yeah.
some company may not be able to do electric, but versus water. And how far are we along on the sewer side? Are we okay, or we need to include? Well, if we do the water, I mean, theoretically, it's gonna.
If you're gonna do it, let's do it all.
I would say.
Mhm.
Getting in sewer, getting in CCPWA.
Yeah, but that's of course a different authority. So, and the payment for that, from that.
Well, I think this board will agree. We can persuade that board and show them why we need it. Because if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it for everything.
And if you're gonna get it mobilized, you get a contractor and you want
Right.
one time.
Right.
I know we canceled the December joint authority meeting, but maybe put that on the January
Mhm.
meeting agenda.
Yeah.
And then hopefully by then we'll have some more information and we can lend to the discussion at that time. So. So, as you guys know, we did retain the new planner, Mr. Utley. And we've already started using him to some extent. Ashley had sent him a couple of questions that had come up, so he's been very helpful at this point. So it's good to have somebody on board that can answer these questions. One thing I would ask though, if we send him something, I know you're good about it, but if we send him something, can you copy me on the email so I see what's going back and forth? on that. So there were a couple of potential code issues that he's addressed for us. Ashley was able to get the dock ordinances started, so I should have those ready to go by the next meeting. So she's got them in Word for me, so I'll go ahead and get those put together. And then the last thing I have is kind of following up. Angela didn't touch on it while she was here, but we have been working on this workforce housing under CAPFA for 4 years, 3 years. I've lost count, but that's revived itself. And last week on the 13th, we had a large conference call with myself, Angela, Ken, our bond attorney, the plenary group, if you recall that company. And then they've actually hired a law firm who can maybe go out and identify other jurisdictions that are in need of the workforce housing and then fold it under CAPFA. So it's actually moving forward. I'm not saying that we're gonna, to the extent where we would close something actually in 2025, the potential is there that we could start on these workforce housing projects through CAPFA, and that would be another category of projects that could perhaps we act as the conduit issuer for. So
Okay.
I'll keep you posted on that. That's all I have.
Does anybody got anything for Steve? All right, thanks, Steve.
Mhm.
Miss Lang, Miss Arnold, do you have anything?
No,
Okay, Gregory Smith,
there's
CAS,
too many of them.
Mr. Simmons.
We've been trying to catch up on some trimming, tree trimming and stuff from the back lots and stuff like that, little Jurassic, growing some trying to do some painting on some fire hydrants, kind of make them look a little better. Doing some stuff like that. Sprinkler system with the holidays coming up, I don't want to butcher the yard out there and take 2 days off and come back. So I'm gonna wait till we have all our materials ordered and in and the holidays are gonna put it. For the time being, we just move the sprinkler around as we can right now. Now the soccer season's over, I'd like to go ahead and get 3 or 4 loads of clay for the ball field and start doing that when we don't have anything else to do to get that back in shape. It was a little more presentable than it had been. Other than that's all I've got. Besides the code enforcement issue that we had over on F, and Ms. Colleen has addressed that and wrote some citations, and if she wants to elaborate on that, she can. We'll see how far that goes and what's our next step. It gets cleaned and then does be dropped back up.
Did, the school, have they been helping you with the tiller, or are they still using that PTO tiller?
I can get it.
Okay.
Hold my hand.
Sprayer?
Till it.
Okay. All right. Colleen, do you want to come up and speak, or
I'm good.
did you write a lot of,
Unless you have any questions.
did you write a lot of citations today?
A few, I've got a lot of garbage citations, primarily what I'm ending up doing is letting people know they need to call the city hall to get their extra garbage picked up. That's where a lot of my time is spent, really. So, it's getting better. It's getting better.
How about the debris? Are you writing them for debris too?
I am, I know.
Now, when, I don't mean to interrupt, but when you're saying garbage, are we talking garbage or debris or
It's
both?
all of it. Anything that's not inside that garbage can doesn't get picked up on that truck. Anything else that sits there, from rubbish to bags, anything.
And are we putting up the door hangers,
Putting door hangers out.
or now that's in the citation or warning? So you're writing warnings and
I'm
citations.
getting them a courtesy notice to say, hey, you need to do this.
Are you having any repeats?
Yes. And just a few. I don't.
Okay.
It's a given, right?
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask.
I'll leave that.
Well, whatever she's doing is working because we're getting phone calls like crazy to get garbage picked up. So
Yeah.
it's working
That's good.
Good.
every day, all day, a couple of times a day.
How is the new truck, Brad, while we're talking about trash?
We had the one that got with it there over there today that weekend.
Mhm.
A little bit jerking.
actually stuck up there.
No kidding.
They took over hydraulic cylinder.
Okay.
And that's part of that, that's it.
What about the jerkin, when it grabs the cans?
So that's operator.
Oh, okay.
Get used to it.
Yeah, you see, yeah.
Colleen, one more thing. When you write the warnings and later the citations, that is record though, right?
Yes,
So after so many of them, you can turn it in to Steve and Steve can take it from there.
correct, yes.
And then when we leave Steve, you're gonna try to get us,
I talked to Richard Pringle a couple times. I talked with DOA, Department of Administrative Hearings. That's going to, when we discussed perhaps a hearing officer. Richard had some questions about the contract. I think I even sent maybe you a copy of their contract. He had a couple questions and I tried to answer them, but I'm like, hey, here's the lady's contact information. So have at it. If you have any qualms, let's get it out in the open because he seems to be in favor of the county doing that. So if we can get into
it's just gonna speed the process
a
up.
routine,
Yeah.
yeah.
To do it.
Because like, for instance, repeat offenders are treated differently under the code.
Exactly.
The whole idea is to get compliance. And if somebody's got a homestead property that's in disrepair or trashed up, whatever the case may be, we still try to get compliance because ultimately you could sanction them, but you're not going to be able to have any leverage because it's homestead property that's protected ultimately. But still, I think that's a good way to go. And if we need to take them to a hearing, we'll take them to a hearing. So,
Cause I know just riding around, it's the same, you don't even have to, it's the same ordinance issues every time you ride. And then you can just about sit here and every one of us can name 3 of them off the top of our head, maybe 4. And it just seems like it gets old. It's like, come on, man. I mean, now we're starting to get pictures of it. Well, we already knew it was there. Why do we have to keep getting pictures of it? So yeah, just stay on it, Colleen, please.
I will.
You remember, I know you.
Same here.
Yeah.
We don't know her.
Oh, I know her husband. If she's been married to her husband, she'd have to be tough. So thank you, Colleen, and thank you, Brad. Brad, get the 3 or 4 loads. And we'll do what we gotta do. But you're right, baseball season's coming. So. Okay, has anybody got anything for Brad or Colleen? Going once? Going twice? All right. Approval of invoice 000388 from Ellie's Flowers in the amount of $150.
I'd like to make a motion to approve that invoice with other flowers in amount of $150.
And this is for the,
This is
for
for
the blower
yes.
passed away.
Yes.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay. Any motion by Sean, seconded by Brad. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
So, okay, for the record, you,
Yes, and you can do it. Yeah.
you,
Abstain for that.
okay. And then she's got to do
State,
the form.
does she have to state her reason?
No,
Okay.
just that she abstained, but there's a form that has to be filled out. Supposed to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 7, approval of the bills in the amount of $76,663.92.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alicia, seconded by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Number 8, citizens' comments, general concerns. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Going once, going twice, closed. Number 9, mayor and council to give reports. Ms. Krosky,
I'm good tonight.
you sure?
I'm positive.
All right. Ms. Beck,
Just real quick, the electrical engineer, did we ever get a date from him for this, that's gonna come and check the school and everything?
He's already working on, we've had several,
He had pretty much all the information he needs.
Yeah. It's,
So he's,
He'll come back with his recommendations.
okay, so he's already been there. He's been around and checked things out.
I don't know he's physically been here lately, but we've said, like I said, everything he's requested for his records, we sent.
Oh, okay,
He
okay.
has the plans from the school's electrical design team and for the new bus barn, he's got all those plans.
Okay, so
been
he's
Reviewing it.
viewing all the, okay.
Asking, you know,
He came back asking for some other
loads,
stuff
yeah.
that's on that line, that feeder line, all
Right.
that stuff. He's got all that information now.
Okay, I just keep forgetting to ask y'all.
Yeah, waiting on his recommendation, man.
Okay, and then one more thing, the jail situation
Did you?
with the rates. When was that?
Haven't, well, so there might be in the works a change
Mhm.
after January
Right,
on the use of the facility. So we provided the shortage, at least through that date that Mr. Tibbs had worked up
mhm.
for water and sewer. But you want to know when that's going to be revisited, basically?
Right, I didn't know if we had a date to revisit that again,
Thought it was 3 months.
But we went back to their original rate
right,
already. Yeah.
right, because we haven't,
Yeah, because there was two extended periods
Right.
of 6 months each. That has elapsed. We went back to the regular billing.
and it just, so we've just been going automatically back to the
Yes.
original billing until they request.
Till they come back, do you amend the agreement, the utility agreement, or change in use?
Yeah, we might ultimately, I mean, if it's hopefully, whatever, it works in our advantage, we could always redo our developer agreement, or we can do a separate, a new supplemental, whatever agreement, however you want to call it, modify it to cover shortages, and we might need to have our engineers revisit some of the calculations on ERUs.
I just don't want that to get,
No, we kind of been trying to monitor a little bit what's happening. I don't stay privy to, like Mr. Tip said, he already gone back to your original rates, but he's identified the shortfall
okay,
in each. So
perfect, thank you.
Okay,
whether we'll get fully reimbursed or not's another story, but
Right.
that's the intent.
and after January, I'm sure that's gonna change.
Well, that's what we're
Again,
hoping,
anyway,
that
too.
that's gonna be a usable or to be used facility.
Okay, Alicia, you got anything else?
That's it.
Anybody got anything for Alicia? Mr. Decker,
He's got nothing.
you sure? Mr. Smith?
No, it's been a little bit since we discussed, but about the potential skate park. Has we heard anything different about that, or?
No, I haven't. I guess, is there kind of a direction to go out to look at that, put the skate park in, and where would?
Uh,
Do you want to, not to interrupt, I think that's a good thought, but do you want to revisit our property issue here and trying to find, I know we alluded to it a little bit, maybe somebody might be interested in developing off of our lots, so like we had talked about before we did the downtown improvements, because then that could make theoretically a difference where you would, what property the city would use for recreation versus what's used now. So,
over there by the basketball courts, is there more?
Yes.
I know we own that whole property that he burned
Yeah.
down, but
yeah,
Last time we discussed it, though, I believe that we looked into I was
Right,
on the
insurance
board
and
then. It was before I was on the
Oh.
board, but they had looked into it before and that,
the insurance was tough for the skate park per se, but if you're looking at doing some modifications on your sports, you might want to think about if you have the best use of your property where things are now and there's better places to put things and redevelop your property.
like I said, do we want to look at that, where the ball field is at, look at creating more of a sports complex? And maybe putting the tennis court out there and, you know, put a skate park fit into that. You know, that,
But when we did price it way back, it was
there was an insurance issue, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it's gonna be.
it's probably better. You know, it's, everybody has their own flavor of sports, so to speak, but
Yeah,
there might be less impact, potential less impact, recreation uses that could be, you know, not as insurance prohibitive as it is
Yeah.
now. So,
okay. Appreciate it.
So you make anything for Brad? Brad, you got anything else?
Nope.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody. It's my turn now. That came out the other night for the tree lighting ceremony. Alicia, you did a great job with the tree. Brad, sorry you couldn't be there. Hope your
My daughter was
child's
sick.
good. Yeah.
Yep, she's good.
I'd like to try to keep the Christmas deal, you know, next year. Let's keep it getting better and bigger, and even if we have to prod the school that
I like to do it on our own date
no.
is what I would like to do.
Yeah.
And have our own vendors and kind of thing.
Well,
Something a
now,
little different.
and I get where you're coming from with that, but when we say vendors, I'd like for me personally to go back to the original concept of each grade got their own little deal.
Program.
Well, that's what
and-
Chris Solomon
And
has
it's
to
supposed to be, right. And each, use it for what it's for. But get more community involvement. If we have to have a parade, if we have to have a
And that's something-
boat parade,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's something that as a council, we need to revisit in June
Mhm.
and say, all right, look, let's start now.
Right,
And make sure we have like a P, what's it called, PA system
yeah.
with the mic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Brad,
We'd have one.
where I know you and I talked about lights under the pavilion,
Outside lights.
but there's nothing under it. Can we get a price on putting lights under the pavilion? Cause I noticed the other night the little kids were
Singing.
singing,
Yeah,
you
the
couldn't even
dance
see them.
dance,
So
yeah.
I'd like to get a price on that and maybe move on that. But that's all I've got. Everybody, have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, when is our employee? Are we doing that again?
When's the employee?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday,
Okay.
What is it?
It's at 11:30.
Usually around 12 o'clock,
Bring it
Brad?
back. The guys who-
dinner, Monday. The city provides steaks, meats, for their employees, and then everybody brings a side, and we all meet at the warehouse. I guess we're gonna still go at the warehouse this year.
Warehouse issue?
Um,
Also, the picnic table up back here.
and everybody just gets together and, I'm
No,
sorry.
it's just that we do every year.
Okay. Cause if you get to mention annual.
Yeah, yep, yep.
It's easier to clean up down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of tight in here. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. Does anybody got anything for me?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
What time does it start? I'm sorry.
12 o'clock.
Just bring a side.
Okay, we got a motion by Alicia
Yep.
to adjourn,
Second.
seconded by Sean. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Here, Alicia.